It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers, they get the dub. They beat the Braves by a final score of 4-1. They're now 4-0 on this road trip. They're 44-25, first place in the NL West. And the story tonight was, one, Freddie Freeman before the game. Freddie Freeman was very emotional. Apparently, there is crying in baseball because Freddie Freeman was very emotional at the press conference, talking about how Atlanta's always going to be, he's always going to have love for the Braves. His situation with Atlanta, you saw the ovation from the Braves fans, and during his first at bat, you saw the embrace between him and Brian Schnitker. But the first thing I want to know before we get into everything else, because we got to talk about Julio Urias, the Urías, he flat out dominated this Atlanta Braves lineup that had been absolutely on fire, hotter than the asphalt in Atlanta, and he just took him, he just absolutely dominated this Atlanta Braves lineup that had been averaging 6 runs per game, over 6 runs per game in the month of June, and he was phenomenal. He goes 6 innings, allowed just 1 earned run on 3 hits, had 9 punch-outs. Even the hits he got were just little dribblers, not very much hard contact. The way he used that fastball tonight, 9 punch-outs for Julio. 7 of those 9 punch-outs came via that fastball. And we're going to break down his outing, but first I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts about Freddie Freeman, how emotional he was? Let me know down below. And who's your player of the game? But let's go Dodgers. Let's get those dubs, man. The Dodgers, they're hot again. Talk about those 1 through 3 hitters, Trea Turner, Will Smith. You saw Trea Turner. He goes deep again today for his 10th home run. Trea Turner hit a bomb to lead off the 5th inning, his 10th home run of the season. You saw a double from Will Smith. And the big three has been carrying this Dodgers offense. Trea Turner, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith in the first 4 games of this road trip. They've combined for 26 hits, 9 extra base hits, 18 RBIs. They've been outstanding. And how about Trea Turner at that leadoff spot, I have to say. And, of course, another big takeaway from tonight is the injury to Daniel Hudson. You saw him go down there, and he goes down in the 8th inning. Does Daniel Hudson just pitches a third of an inning? It looks like something related to his knee. What are your thoughts on that? Because that is going to be very, very important for the Dodgers. They need high leverage Hudson to be in there, and this team has been very snake bitten. But I'm going to get into your takes, guys. First things first, let me know, what were your thoughts on Freddie Freeman and how emotional he was? We got Calvin T, R.I.P. Hudson, E.B. What up, Jacob Hurd over on Facebook? E.B. said it's that time of the month for Freddie Freeman. Hey, man, you're cool. I knew we were going to get something like that here. Orlando, Dodgers won the game, but I feel like they lost with Hudson's injury. Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate. You hate to see it. I had a pit in my stomach when you consider everything that Daniel Hudson, high leverage Huddy, as I like to call him, everything that he's gone through. When you talk about a double Tommy John surgery guy, a guy that's dealt with serious, significant injuries throughout his career, and I guess if you want to spin any type of positive, it is that it does appear that it's not related to his arm, right? It is a lower body injury, and it looked like it was on the plant there. You saw it just kind of buckled underneath him, and kind of the first thing you want to see, maybe it's an ACL, an MCL. Hopefully it's some type of strain. So hopefully maybe he twisted it there, and it can be okay, because look, Daniel Hudson, he's been outstanding for this Dodgers team. He has just really stepped in there and filled that void left by Blake Treinen. And if the Dodgers are going to lose out on Daniel Hudson for the rest of the season, that's going to poke a big hole in this bullpen once again, because look, we thought you had it bad with Daniel Hudson stepping in for Blake Treinen. Well, guess what? Daniel Hudson, he's been outstanding in that high leverage spot. He's been dominant for the Dodgers, and to think that they could lose him, that would not be pretty. So we're gonna, if you guys get any information down below in the comments, this is a live show, it's a live stream. I want all your takes, but if there's any news regarding Daniel Hudson, let me know down below, because he's been outstanding, a 2.25 ERA in the month of June, and they're gonna have to have some type of next man up mentality if they're going to have to lose him. Guys like Brusdar Graterol, who had his 7th appearance without allowing a run. You saw him get that nice double play there in the 8th inning. And you also saw Yency Almonte, the success that Yency Almonte has been experiencing this year with the Dodgers. Can he step up into that role? You saw Evan Phillips. He had a clean inning there in the 7th. So, look, I mean, what it comes down to, the Dodgers, they're losing their high-leverage guys. And we have Blake trying to talk about Tommy Kahnle. He goes down with that injury, still completely not fully right from the returning from Tommy John surgery. So you just never know. So there's definitely some attrition here with this Dodgers bullpen. You saw what they dealt with last season. Thankfully, they have discovered Yency Almonte, who in the month of June is sporting a 1.08 ERA. But here we go. Player of the game is Trea and Julio. That's from Anthony Keene. Yeah, Trea Turner. You saw another great performance from him. He is absolutely on fire at the moment. He goes 3 for 5 on the night with an RBI and a home run. Raised that batting average up to 318. And he's really carrying the Dodgers. Him, Freddie, Freeman, and Will Smith, like we just talked about. The top of this lineup is getting it done. So, hey, we'll see what happens with Mookie Betts. Because, look, the reality is Mookie Betts was playing at an MVP level. And then in the early parts of June, he was struggling. He had a sub-600 OPS. But here we go. Freddie Freeman, Tissue Box Night. That's from HJ. I love that he shows emotions. That's from Denny Cortez. D-Mac, you the best, shouty. Kevin, I'm going to give you a Let's Go Dodgers for that. By the way, I upgraded my internet. It's like the fastest internet you can get. So let me know if there's an improvement, because I know we had some issues lately. But hey, man, the success of you guys always rocking with us helps out with that. But here we go. Calvin T, Urias player of the game, repping from Palmdale. What up, Calvin T? Urias player of the game. That's from Abram G. You guys know Urias. That's what I call him. And I think tonight you can make that case. Julio Urias, you're going to see some regression with Tony Gonsolin. You're going to see some regression with Tyler, the outs creator, Siler Anderson, the greats Gatsby. But Julio Urias is really falling into a fantastic groove. I was at the game against Cleveland, and a lot of people are speaking very highly of Julio Urias and just how he feels out there on the mound. The confidence that has been growing with that fastball. Last outing goes 6 strong, allows no runs against the Guardians. You saw he had a strong start with the 10 punch-outs against the Giants. This month, heading into today, a 1.56 ERA, and look at those lineups. The Mets lineup, a potent lineup with Pete Alonso, Marte, and everything they have out in New York. And then you see San Francisco, the way they can hit home runs and score runs up in the Bay. And then that pesky, the gritty Guardians, as I like to call them, the way they can get the bat on the ball, get the sacrifice flies, and just kind of play small ball. Not an easy lineup to navigate either. And then you saw what he was able to do against this Braves lineup, that they have been just absolutely dominant. This Braves team has been the hottest team in baseball this month. Them and the Yankees, and I think it was so impressive. That's my big takeaway, is Julio Urias is the Julio Urias. I love the way he just has that poise, that demeanor out there on the mound. Nothing phases this guy. You see him smiling. You see him saying, puta de madre, anytime he misses a pitch like he did against Olsen when he had the ground roll double there against him in the 2nd. I just love watching Julio Urias pitch. He's my favorite player to watch pitch on this team, my favorite starter. But here we go, Urias player of the game, D-Mac, Ron Fig. Yeah, how about a little Friday night show, guys, getting lit. Man, let's here's a little toast, guys. This is straight vodka. Michelle Carter, Craig Kimbrel with a clean inning to shut it down. CB Buck, yeah, I mean, Michelle Carter. I mean, we always have to check in on Craig Kimbrel. He wasn't Craig Crumble tonight. He wasn't Cardiac Kimbrel. You don't have to send your therapist, your anger management guys, the bill to the Dodgers tonight, because Craig Kimbrel, he went in there, and it was really strange, too, with that first base hit that Olsen got. It looked like it was going to be a foul ball. They ruled that it wasn't. It was close, but yeah, it was a little strange. But I think you saw with Craig Kimbrel, the big issue is falling behind in counts. So falling behind in counts is where he gets himself into trouble, but give him a lot of credit. He went out there, made pitches. I think he did a much better job with, he gets the save tonight, his 13th save of the season. He's only blown 1 save, so let's not forget, Dodger fans, he's blown 1 save, and like I said during the roundtable a few days ago, the second highest BABIP, that's batting average on balls in play, over 400, and if you look at his FIP compared to his ERA, there's a disparity there. When you see those two numbers out of whack, you see a pitcher that's due for some regression. I had you guys call him Craig Kimberly. I like that Ethan Love, I have to read that comment, Trace is him. How about Trace Thompson? Some more Trace Thompson, he on the night ends up going 2 for 4, a 2-hit game. And how about Trace Thompson getting hits against right-handed pitching? I think Trace Thompson is telling Doc and this Dodgers organization, hey, you're not going to platoon me with Eddie Alvarez, okay? You're not going to platoon me. I'm a guy that can hit righties and lefties because, I mean, he just looks confident at the plate. That swing, he's still got that nice, big, pretty swing, and I think Trace Thompson is playing with a lot of confidence, and he sees this as a big opportunity, and everything that he's learned at the minor league level, his approach at the plate. And look, I mean, we saw how hot he was for the Dodgers in May of 2016, and I think that he's a guy that really is providing a nice spark. You saw especially, too, I really like the effort there that he made on the bottom of the 6th inning when after Acuna got that infield single, that little dribbler there, Trea Thompson, he dove for that ball, but he was unable to make the catch, but a great effort nonetheless. And like I said, the glove, he almost caught that ball. I mean, the ball was in his glove and just kind of popped out. So I like what I'm seeing from Trea Thompson, just stepping right in to that position there in right field. He's getting hits. You're seeing home runs, extra base hits. You're seeing him hit off of righties. You're seeing the effort out in right field. And I'm hoping that he's going to stick. And I thought that, hey, maybe this was just a temporary move while Mookie Betts was out. And I was saying, hey, maybe just in a few weeks the Dodgers would be without a Trace. But I'm hoping that Trea Thompson sticks, and that at this point, I think you got to make the case that maybe they start calling Klay Thompson Trea Thompson's brother instead of the other way around. But let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on Trea Thompson so far with the Dodgers? Do you want to see him stick? My A's Julio from Ant EB, I agree that Freeman has cried enough, Braves. Time to cry for the Dodgers. But yeah, I was seeing that too, EB, when I was watching that first the press conference, then his emotions out there. I was thinking to myself, well, there's pretty much no chance that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Dodger at this point. And there's a lot that has to happen for him to be a Hall of Famer. He's not a lock at this point. But if he does go, those ties were serious. And look, he's got a guy that, think about Freddie Freeman, he's got a big heart. He loves hard. And when you come up through one team in their minor league system, in the way that community and that city embrace Freddie Freeman, you win a World Series, you win an MVP, it's no surprise that he's going to have those emotions. And look, I think it's also a little smart by Freddie Freeman, because I have a lot of Braves fans that call him Freddie Greedman, and they like to slander him. They act like, oh, he should have fired his agent, and if he would have just taken less money, he would have been fine in Atlanta, and he wouldn't have to cry about anything. And I see those Braves fans out there. Very salty are those Braves fans that Freddie Freeman signed elsewhere, this generation's Mr. Brave. And I think that Freddie Freeman, it was a smart move that, hey, man, you go out there, show some emotion, and then you kind of put those boos to rest. Even though there were some boos. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys did hear some boos, right? When he went out there for his ovation kind of towards the end. Here we go. Soon Kim, Trea, player of the game. Enjoy him while we can. Sun Kim, yeah. I mean, it hurts to kind of enjoy Trea Turner, because like I was saying, it's going to be Sha-na-na-na, Sha-na-na-na, Trea, goodbye. If he wants to get a $325 million bag, which the Robert Murray, the insider, pushed back on that idea, but what his claim was a few days ago, I don't know if you guys heard this, is MLB insider Robert Murray said that Trea Turner is going to get once more than Corey Seager got with the Texas Rangers, a higher AAV annually, over $32.5 million. So we'll see about that. My question for you guys is, do you think that Trea Turner is worth $325 million with the Dodgers? Now remember this, he is going to be 29 years old in the first year of that contract. But hi D-Mac, hi Craig Osterberg, always rocking with us, a Dodgers Nation day one. How you doing, Craig? Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday night. Hey man, this Dodger team, say what you want about this team, through the struggles they've had, they're still a half game behind of having the best record in the National League. They're about 7.5 games behind the Yankees for best record in baseball, and they're far from playing their best baseball. But when you start to feel good about this win, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails when you saw what happened to Daniel Hudson, who's been, without question, the Dodgers' best high-leverage reliever, and that comes on the heels of not having Blake Treinen. But here's an update on Blake Treinen. By the way, I'm going to drop an injury update video this weekend, as well as a trade video. I see you guys out there. Dropped a little mini one today, but what's up, D-Mac? Bleeding Dodger Blue from the 818. What up, Isaac? How you doing? Where's that Braves fan? Soon Kim, where's that Braves fan? Look, it's late. He's probably getting spanked by his mom. He's probably down in the basement. Just you never know, man. That Braves fan, he only comes around when his team wins, but that wasn't tonight because the Braves took that ATL. Jaime, no, it doesn't. Spending $17 million on a guy only for his defense isn't worth it. Any news on Treinen and when he's coming back? Keeping my fingers crossed on Hudson. We need him. That's from Fernando over on YouTube. So the latest with Blake Treinen is that he's saying, look, we're going to take it day to day. He doesn't want a hard timetable. That's what he told reporters. And based on people you talk to, he's a few weeks away from even throwing a bullpen session, and they're not being they're being vague. They're being a little cagey when it comes to Blake Treinen's status because, look, a few weeks ago there were people saying they were having their doubts, especially when he agreed to that contract extension that, hey, maybe they're going to lose Blake Treinen for the rest of the year, but he said he's feeling good. He's playing catch, and like I said, he's a few weeks away from throwing a bullpen session, so at the very earliest, it's going to be after the All-Star break. But if they can get Blake Treinen back and he's throwing 97, 98, 99 mile-per-hour turbo sinkers with that slider, he's going to be a guy that's going to be perfect for this team, but it's going to take some time to just go back and pick up where you left off. You're going to have to kind of ease your way into it, and there's just no telling when pitchers are dealing with injuries how they're going to perform after that injury. So I'm hoping that Blake Treinen can come back and help this Dodger team, and if Daniel Hudson has to miss significant time for the remainder of the season, let's say as an ACL or MCL or a significant knee injury, they're going to possibly look to, I think, make a deal for a reliever as well. So at this point, you're talking about this Dodger team that might need another starting pitcher. They might need another high-leverage reliever. They could possibly use another bat, although, hey, man, I like what I've seen from Trea Thompson so far. Here we go, Braves fan. Has been real quiet since this game. I love how you guys are coming in and you smell blood with the Braves fan. You smell blood with that Braves fan. Bro, we can totally tell. Nice, Anthony Keene, bro. You can totally tell about the internet upgrade, DMAC and HD. Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm up to like man, I'm telling you, this internet's crazy. This internet is so fast. I'm already watching the Sunday night game, right? On the Sunday night Dodger Braves game. It's pretty crazy. It's like the fourth inning now. Grandma Freddie, knit me a shawl, HJ. Some of you guys, are you guys clowning Freddie? Like I said, this show, guys, I don't know if it's your first time to this show, but if it is, be sure to subscribe to the channel at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. But if you know me, I'm the man of the fan, get your fan perspective, and we break down all things Dodger baseball. But the difference between this show, it's not an echo chamber. We can have different opinions, and I'm cool with it, guys. And I will read opinions that I disagree with because, hey, man, we don't always disagree, but we all agree that we don't love the Dodgers one way or the other. But here we go. We got Ryan. I still feel he can't win it. Pound for pound, sub DMAC. Is Hudson done for the year? That's from Pound for Pound. We're still waiting on news regarding Daniel Hudson, but as soon as we get something, we'll hear what Doc has to say. I'm sure it's pretty clear it's some form of a lower body injury. The way he was walking off the mound, look, it's not like they had to bring a cart or some type of air cast or something like that. I mean, maybe that's an encouraging sign. He did walk off the mound, so make of what you will with that. But it's a very interesting to see the facial expression of Daniel Hudson in that situation. Like I said, this Dodgers bullpen, they have been snake bitten, and it was nice to see. It was nice to see Craig Kimbrel go out there and have a nice outing. Because look, like I always say with Craig Kimbrel, fasten those couch belts, right? Fasten those couch seat belts, and we're gonna look at Olson's. We're gonna look at Kimbrel's night tonight, and also who is. Let's go, DMAC. You do a great job. You do a great job as a fan, my man. J-Man, appreciate you. 76. Is that 76 the year born, or is the gas station because it's the Dodgers? We can have that connection. But here we go. I'm making a mint on Freddie cry towels. Boomer Assassin. I have to admit, I'm kind of here for the Freddie Freeman crying stuff, man. It's like the MJ crying meme. We'll have the Freddie Freeman crying meme. This game validated that the Dodgers offense is back. No offense. No offense to the Reds, soon Kim. Yeah, the Reds, they're essentially a AAA team, but what do you have to do? You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and sometimes you need a slump buster, and that's given this Dodgers offense a lot of credit. Another thing I like to see today, we saw some more sacrifice flies. I think that was you saw some productive outs, and I think with this Dodger team, there's clearly look at Justin Turner when they at the top of the fifth inning. He grounded into that fielder's choice. Freeman scored. That made it 4-0 Dodgers. And you're also seeing the slug again, the extra base hits. Trea Turner, Will Smith, they're tearing the cover off the baseball. Freddie Freeman slug has gone up significantly in the month of June after that slug was starting to dip. You're seeing just on this road trip alone, Freddie Freeman, a triple, a double, 2 home runs, and you saw he was red hot against the Reds, and then he was able to get a hit against his old team today. And then look at the top of the first inning. The Dodgers, they go out there and they set the tone. They strike first blood, and Trea Turner, he reached on that infield single to second. Trea Turner, 109 infield singles since 2017. That leads all of Major League Baseball. And then Freddie Freeman, he walks on 5 pitches. A great at-bat for Freddie, dealing with those emotions. You saw the tears out there. And then Will Smith, he singles to left, and that sets the Dodgers up with runners on the corners. And then Max Muncy, he takes a 4-pitch walk to load the bases for Chris Taylor. He is slumping. He is one of the few. He's a Dodger that's slumping heading into today on this road trip. Chris Taylor, he had gone 0 for. He had gone 4 for 13, not too bad, but I mean, but in the month of June, he's starting to dip a little bit. But Chris Taylor, he strikes out swinging, and then you see Justin Turner, he goes up there with 1 out, bases loaded, and he hits a sac fly to center. So that makes it 2-0 Dodgers, or that makes it 2-0 Dodgers. And that's what you want to see from this team. You want the slug, you want the timely hitting, and you also want to see productive outs. And we saw that today. You saw them moving guys over. We've seen multiple sacrifice flies during this road trip, even a sacrifice bunt. I almost said sacrifice blunt, but no. That ball in the ninth looked foul, or it's just me. It stood. I was setting up for the show. I watched it a few times. I didn't do a big deep dive, but yeah, just on the eye test, seeing it 1 or 2 times, it definitely felt like a foul ball. Let me know down below in the comment section. Javier, we need a better closer. At this point, I don't even think it's about a closer. I think that, look, Craig Kimbrel, 12 saves, 13 saves, and just 1 blown save so far this season. And today, Craig Kimbrel, he goes 1 inning, allowed no runs, had the 1 punch out, and there was some encouraging signs from Kimbrel in this outing. Of course, the issue though is look at the first pitch to Olson. He falls behind. He's missing glove side, high and away, and then he goes fastball right in Olson's happy zone there, and he just turns in, and he's able to get that single to right that we all kind of think could have been a foul ball. And then to Ozuna, next batter, he falls behind in the count once again. And when he was missing today, he was missing pretty badly. And I think that, hey, you've heard some sticky stuff, merchant theories with Craig Kimbrel and the grip of that baseball. And like I say, when he was missing with that 4-seam fastball, he was missing pretty bad. He misses low and away to Marcell Ozuna, but was able to locate much better on the second pitch, goes with another fastball. And I like the steady dose of fastballs early in his appearance. We've seen him go to that breaking ball in some suspect counts, in my opinion, especially when he doesn't have the feel for that pitch. But he gets Ozuna to pop out for the first out. And then Contreras, what I was really encouraged by is, like I said, he starts the count off behind the count once again. He misses with the knuckle curve to start things off, and he comes back with a fastball in the zone to even things at 1-1, and then he's able to land that breaking ball at the bottom of the zone to get it to 1-2. Then he misses twice. Misses with the curve, misses with the fastball. Then he fouls off the 6th pitch of the at-bat, and then he gets him swinging at a fastball in the middle of the zone. So I think one of the issues with Craig Kimbrel has just been the confidence in that fastball, just not kind of just pounding it in the zone. He kind of been nibbling on the edges, missing, but he was able to get Contreras. And then Duvall, a pretty easy at-bat, goes with 3 fastballs, gets him to fly out. But here we go, guys. Chipping in for your upgraded internet. Thanks, Sonny. I appreciate it. I'll go, hey, man, I got the promo. By the way, it's a 1-year promo, so after that, it's over, man. We're going back to slow internet, and I was fine. But D-Mac, how do you feel so far about Will Smith? Will Smith's catching in the plate. Has he shown improvement so far? I mean, if you want to look at Will Smith's metrics, they'll tell you that he has improved from that aspect as well. So I mean, when it comes to pitch framing, game calling, he's continuing to improve. And let's not forget, I know that it feels like it was a long time ago because it was early in the game, but let's not forget there in the bottom of the first inning, Julio, he allows that a leadoff walk to Acuna, and then Julio gets Swanson swinging, and then Smith and Wesson, Will Smith, he gunned down Acuna at second. You saw Acuna's fingers, his hand just kind of falls off the bag there, so he actually threw him out at second, so he did a nice job there, and then Acuna, yeah, and then he gets Riley to pop out to end the inning. So I think Will Smith, when you talk about being a complete catcher, yes, he's more of an offense-first catcher. There's no question about it. But his offense is so good that, I mean, you got to definitely include him among the game's greats when it comes to catchers. There's no question about it, especially if you look at the fact that he did kind of get off to a slow start. I mean, you saw no one was really talking about it, but he definitely got off to a slow start, and he's really, really picked it up. If you look at Will Smith over his last 25 games, an 825 OPS, 6 home runs, and 4 doubles. So second behind Trea Turner in home runs on the team in his last 25 games. And if you look at Will Smith in his last 12 games at 933 OPS. So yeah, he's a guy that if you compare it to guys around the league, he's definitely, there's no question, one of the best hitters in the league. To me, he's making a nice late push at being an all-star. So, yeah, I definitely want to see Will Smith's name included when you're talking about the best receivers in all of Major League Baseball. And I think tonight, too, I like the chemistry he has with Julio Urias. I think the fact they were going with that fastball, that elevated fastball, I like the game plan, knowing that this Braves team in the box, they're chasing out of the zone more than most teams, more than any team in Major League Baseball. They're very aggressive with the stick. But happy Friday to you, D-Mac. Happy Friday, Diane Schroeder. I always got to shout you out when I see you here. Here, let's do some more comments, guys, and we'll jump back in. By the way, what are your thoughts? I want all your thoughts, by the way. We're talking all things Dodger baseball on this one. The Daniel Hudson injury. Freddie Freeman goes 1 for 3, scored 2 runs, had 2 walks tonight, reached 3 times. But what are your thoughts on Freddie Freeman getting emotional in this one? Because, hey, there is crying in baseball. Like I said earlier in the show, he was overwhelmed by emotions. And, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I've seen some Dodger fans have some different opinions on it, but let me know down below. K Casino dropping $10, man. I'm gonna have to get the next level internet. I don't even know what that is, man. T1 56K. What is it called? Realistically, who replaces Trea next year? So that's a pretty loaded question, but quickly to answer that, they do have options, okay? Of course, you got a guy on the team currently who can play the shortstop position, who is having a breakout year, and he's none other than Mr. Gavin Lux. And Gavin Lux is a player that this organization is heavily invested in. And the question is, can Gavin Lux play a competent shortstop? He definitely can. I mean, you saw him step in for Corey Seager after he went down with injury. And then also you talk about, look at Trea Turner. I mean, you saw the glove, kind of a good win tonight. What up, Doom _ Sal? Definitely a good win tonight. Always feels good to beat this Braves team, get some vindication, get some revenge. Did it feel like a postseason-like atmosphere to you guys? Let me know. Was a sellout. I love that, DJ Gus. So I see what you did right there. Dodgers better. That's my comment of the night, man. Let's see who gets the comment of the night, man. Player of the game, here we go. We got love Trea, but that's a ridiculous amount of money from J-Man76. Trea definitely worth it, but can't do 10 years. Yeah, if you have a lower AAV, some of that deferred money, of course, that the Dodgers like to do, there are ways around it. And some other things to consider as well is we thought for a long time the Dodgers were going to have to choose between Cody Bellinger and Corey Seager. Well, they offered Corey Seager $290 million, and he took a deal with the Rangers, 12 years and $325 million. And then you talk about the deal for Cody Bellinger. What is Cody Bellinger gonna do in his future? I mean, is he a player that actually it was 10? I think it was 10,325 for Corey Seager. So we took that 10-year, $325 million deal. So if you look at the market as a whole, you got Corey Seager, 10 years, $325 million, and then you look at someone like Francisco Lindor, who really kind of set the market at that 10-year, $341 million deal. And then, of course, you got Carlos Correa, where he has the deal with the Twins where he can opt out. So, I mean, there are some big premium shortstops out there. And I think when it comes to Carlos Correa signed that $105.3 million deal with the opt-outs. But really what it comes down to with Trea Turner, if you're talking about $325 million, something in that range, you're talking about an AAV, an average annual value of $32.5 million. So I think love the Kershaw video, ghosting you, LOL. Hey, carnivorous lunar activity. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even the greatest pickoff move. I just, wanted to clown stuff. Yeah, by the way, if you guys are on TikTok, man, go follow us. Hey, thanks, Pack Wards. I appreciate you, my man. If you go follow us on TikTok over at Dodgers Nation, just started that like 2 weeks ago, throwing out some fun stuff, doing some exclusive content over there as well. I won't be doing, my little TikTok dances. How the kids do it, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Smash that like button for D-Mac. Yeah, smash that like button for your Dodgers. It looked like a torn ACL, Wilfredo C. Cordova. Yeah, that's what popped into my mind first, and I was thinking to myself, is that kind of like the rule we have when it comes to Tommy John? You don't say Tommy John. It's like Voldemort in Harry Potter. You don't say the name at all because you don't want to jinx it. But, yeah, I mean, that was my biggest fear too, and if that's the case, his season is going to be done so. I saw the Hudson has shoulder inflammation. That's from Mr. Cat. Yeah, you got guys dealing with strains and shoulder inflammation. It's just kind of a part of, really, you always got guys kind of navigating injuries like that. But stuff like that, take a little IL stint can hopefully cure that. Take a month off, but something like a knee injury, a significant knee injury, was going to end his season. But it's always an adventure with Kimbrel. That's from Diane. Yeah, he's allergic to clean innings. There's no question about it. But like I said, if he can just continue to harness that fastball and have confidence in that fastball, like I said, when he's trying to work the edges and you see he's trying to hit the black, but he's missing glove size, missing arm size, missing wide, kind of yanking heaters. That's not what you want to see. And you want to see him have the depth of that curveball. And when he has that, when he's landing that for strikes, he can be a very effective closer. And look, this is Craig Kimbrel we're talking about. This is a guy that you can make the case that he could be on pace to make the Hall of Fame one day. I mean, I think that the fact that Wagner's not in, I think it's pretty debatable. But I think Craig Kimbrel, the fact that he's achieved so much success throughout his career, but also the caveat there, 384 career saves, by the way, for Craig Kimbrel. Freddie cried like if his first girlfriend broke up with an EB, he will play Eminem's song called Kim and Get Over It. EB, you got me rolling, man. D-Mac in the house, keep up the great work. Thanks. Freeman's emotional night can ignite some fire in this team from Ice Queen 7. It did feel like the announcers were terrible. J9, keep Mookie out just to be safe once the All-Star break is over. That's a great take right there, Strider. Hear you. And interesting, because you don't want to rush Mookie back, especially after a cracked rib, and you see the success that this Dodgers offense is having. But on the same token, it's Mookie Betts. He likes to be out there. He wants to go and he wants to play and he wants to help this team win. Also, he's a guy that could be an MVP candidate. He was the front runner when he went down. He was in the conversation. But he also, Manny Machado went out. But Anthony King, Trea Turner's batting numbers kind of demand that he's worth the money. He's a kick-ass leadoff with crazy speed and great defense. Pay him. That's a fair point. There's no question about it. But like I said, he leads all of Major League Baseball with infield hits since 2017. He has with 108. A 30.3 sprint speed in feet per second. He uses his speed as a part of his game. That's kind of how it's predicated. And let's say he loses a step or two, is he going to be as valuable of a player? He's still going to be able to hit. There's no question about it. But also you factor into his defense, to me, has been the only aspect of his game that I've been a tad bit underwhelmed by. I'm not saying he's a bad shortstop by any stretch. Can get to a lot of balls. He's got a nice arm over there. He's definitely an upgrade to Corey Seager from a shortstop defensive standpoint. There's no question about that. But he leaves 7 outs above average. Look at some of his defensive metrics from years past. They have dipped just slightly. So, when you talk about this Dodger team, you got a free agent class of Xander Bogaerts that's going to be out there. Carlos Correa, I'm not an advocate for Carlos Correa just simply on the fact that Trea Turner, he's a very durable player. You can count on him to be in that lineup, and I feel good about that. Correa has missed some significant time, has had some knick-knack injuries, back injuries, some wrist injuries, balls hitting his hands, breaking his thumb. And then you also have, Dansby Swanson's picked it up too. I'm not saying that I want Swanson on the Dodgers, but there is going to be a nice little free agent class when it comes to shortstops. Also, Jacob Amaya is a name that you want to just keep your eye on. Jacob Amaya, he's really figured things out at the plate from a power standpoint. You see him driving the ball, gap to gap, all fields, and he's really improved at the plate. You see him modify his mechanics a little bit. You see his setup. You see the way his position is on his stance, his little leg kick. So I think when it comes to Jacob Amaya, he's another name you want to consider too, because look, the reality is if you have someone in your system that can play that role, that can play the shortstop position, which is one of the most important positions in all of sports, really, because of how much of a premium it is to play defense at that level, and then also to produce at the plate, then you can allocate those funds elsewhere. So Jacob Amaya, who knows? Maybe he can get it done for the Dodgers. Gavin Lux, you got Michael Busch. You can play at second or an outfield too. So, there are some internal options. There are some external options. But I think ideally I would like to see Trea Turner stay on the Dodgers. But for a contract of 8 years, something like, I think for me, because I would match the AAV, something like 8 years, $260 million, something like that. But here we go. Hudson goes down, not good. Big Red equals closer. Why can't they see that? Hey, did you watch the round table? That was my take. I said when it came to Craig Kimbrel, I said that it was going to be a moot point because Dustin May, who's throwing 100 miles per hour today, as Bill Plunkett tweet out over in Arizona, he's a guy that the Dodgers can most certainly use in a closer's role. I mean, can you imagine Code Red, the Red Nightmare out there on the mound, closing things down? Imagine seeing Pennywise on the mound. It's your worst nightmare, right? So I want to see Dustin May get an opportunity to maybe get some saves in. And Craig Kimbrel is a guy that can help out as well. But I think the big question now is if Daniel Hudson is going to be out for the rest of the season, will they get Blake Trinan back? How about Danny Duffy? He's another guy that's looked pretty good in some of these videos that he's been posting, hitting 93. Tommy Kahnle. So there are some big questions right now as far as this Dodgers bullpen is concerned. But when it comes to Dustin May, I'm absolutely open to the idea of him as closer. Let me ask you guys that question. Do you guys want to see Dustin May as the Dodgers closer, or at least get some opportunities? Big Red not back yet, is he? Don't trust Kimbrel with a 1-run lead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too, man. If there was a 6-run lead, a 5-run lead, but even a 4-run lead, it doesn't give you that confidence, right? That confidence that really great closers instill in you. When you just think, hey, this game is a wrap, it's a lock. But here we go. LL Cool J's, J-Rock, the Bells, Big Red after the All-Star break, Mike M. Yep. Dylan, Hare, when Mookie is back, do you think that if he gets into a slump that they'll lead off with Turner sometimes? I think it's a really good question, and my response to that is, look, if you've been around this team, been around this organization, in that clubhouse, I'm telling you firsthand that Mookie Betts, he is the leader in that clubhouse. He leads by example, leads by accountability, but I'm telling you, he is the top dog in that Dodgers clubhouse. Also, you add the fact that he's the guy that committed for 12 years and $365 million, and you also saw the lack of success that he was having in the 2-hole when he first started off with the Dodgers in 2020. So Mookie Betts, he likes to bat leadoff. He likes to set the tone and be the catalyst, the spark plug, and try to generate that offense. And look, Mookie Betts is a guy that he was as hot as Trea Turner is right now. Mookie Betts was actually hotter batting in that leadoff spot in the month of May, okay? So let's not act like the current version of Trea Turner is better than the version of Mookie Betts that we saw in the month of May, okay? Mookie Betts, he still leads the team in home runs with 17 home runs, and I think when you consider the fact that he's had most of the success in his career with the Red Sox and with the Dodgers batting leadoff, I think you definitely have to keep him there. But let's say he does fall into a slump. Let's say he's not 100%, then I think that easily you can go with Trea Turner. And Trea Turner's a guy, he gets on base, he kind of changes things up as far as the shift goes. And yeah, I mean, he's a guy that can score from first on a single. So, yeah, there's definitely that. But, like I said, this is Mookie Betts' franchise at this point, and Mookie Betts gets what Mookie Betts wants. But I want to hear your takes on that one. Let's go down below in the comment section. Carrot Top, Hudson has an ACL injury. That's from Anthony Keene. Thank you for giving me that info, my man Anthony Keene. Dodgers Beta, DJ Gus. I love how you're just flooding that, too, just like him, man. I see what you're doing, and I respect it. That's why you got the Dodgers Nation post-game show's comment of the night. I dumped the Braves fan. I have no confidence in Kimbrel. From Diane, does Red not seem like a closer? Duh. Anthony King, yo, D-Mac, Hudson has an ACL, doc just reported. Thank you very much. Betts all-around winner. Mr. Cat, yo, D-Mac, we need to aggressively go after Frankie Montas. Yes, I mean, I've been screaming from the mountaintop that the Dodgers need to add another starter. I'm dropping a video about Montas and Castillo. Don't want to give you guys the whole video, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Montas. If you look at since last July, Montas, he was kind of, he was floating, low 4s and a 3 ERA to start the year. I mean, he was not his best, right? And then they completely doubled the use of that split finger, and then that split, he took him to a whole nother level. And if you look at him since he's gone to that pitch as his put-away pitch, it's so filthy. He has that velocity that plays up. He's been a top 10 pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. I will preface this by saying that I do think there's not the perfect pitcher out there for the Dodgers, that when you consider that you're probably looking for a half-year rental on a dominant pitcher where you don't have to spend so much prospect capital. That guy's not out there like we saw with Max Scherzer last season. But I do think if you look at the fact that Walker Buehler is a pitcher that really has lost his best pitch so far this season in his four-seam fastball, trading for a guy that does have one more arbitration year that you're going to have for more than just the remainder of the season is something that could be a benefit, but it's going to cost you, and that's the only issue there. You're talking about some top 5 prospects, no question about it. They're going to want a Ryan Pepiot. They're going to ask about Bobby Miller and Miguel Vargas and Michael Bushes, and they're going to want names like that. So you can't keep all the top prospects and expect to get a guy like Frankie Montas. But I definitely think he's a guy that his stuff is going to play up in the postseason. If you look at that strikeout rate since last July, it's over 27%. That's top 10 in the league. So here we go. Dodgers bleeding relievers. That game yesterday was brutal after Montas pitched 8 no-hit innings. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. You got to factor in, one, Montas and Castillo, they're on bad teams. And on top of that, the Dodgers, they have the pitching coaching. They have Connor McGinnis. They have Dr. Pryor. The guy can fix anything. To me, the Dodgers pitching staff, they're like Dr. Dre. If you're like a good rapper and you go to Dr. Dre, you get a Dre beat, you look like a great rapper, right? If you're a great rapper, you become an elite rapper with Dr. Dre. That's the same thing with Dr. Pryor and Dr. McGinnis and this Dodgers pitching coaching staff. They can take your game to another level when it comes to pitch sequencing and the way they attack hitters, when they look at your mechanics and your release point and everything. Really, it's just a complete thing. If they go into the lab, these guys, I'm telling you, these are absolute geniuses when it comes to stuff. Pitching will return to us World Series glory. Dansby, Swanson, anyone. Hey, he's really picked it up after a really terrible start here. But let's back into the comments section. We got Guggenheim bullpen is effed. Seemed like every team has a rookie absolutely killing it except the Dodgers. Would be a good time. Anthony Kiger says, hope Hudson is okay. Thompson has been a surprise. Turner is on fire. Kevin says, starting pitching held up. Bullpen did its thing. Just enough hitting to win. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. I mean, what I like tonight, I like the sacrifice fly. I like the fact that you saw some productive outs. But they had some opportunities in this one that they weren't able to cash in. Scoring with runners in scoring position has been an issue during this funk of a month for the Dodgers. They really turned around by winning 4 straight, but in this one, the Dodgers, they go 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Taylor had an opportunity. He goes 0 for 2. Smith goes 1 for 3. JT 0 for 1. Lux goes 0 for 2, and Freeman goes 0 for 1. So they could have really blown this thing wide open because they out-hit the Braves 9-6 in this one. They did have the error by Julio Urias, but here we go. Chris Taylor, strikeout or hit. Yeah, he's going through it. D-Mac, Frankie, suck, man. Sorry he not answered to win it all. Like my fastball, U-strings. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, Chris Taylor definitely is struggling, but that's just how it is, man. He's a streaky player, okay? But yeah, back to this one, Julio Urias, who is the ace of the Dodgers right now? I mean, you could make the case that it is Julio Urias. I definitely believe that, even though Tyler Anderson flirted with a no-hitter, even though Tony Gonsolin is headed to the Paw Star game, as I'm calling it. We need Frankie Montas, Justin Kim. You guys look like you want a trade video to drop on Frankie Montas, and that's coming. But here we go. We got and then, yeah, and I think the other thing, too, another big takeaway with Julio Urias, other than the effectiveness of that fastball, was that in the first 3 innings there, the leadoff guy got on. You're seeing him pitch with runners in traffic at the bottom of the count. Bottom of the second, we talked about the inning there where he, bottom of the second, a 1-2 count. Olsen hit a ground rule double to deep left. Fastball just kind of leaked out over the plate. And then next batter, 3-2 pitch to Ozuna. He gets him swinging with that elevated fastball. So that really has become a weapon for Julio, that elevated cheese. You saw him using that against the Guardians. When I was there at the last game, I said, hey, man, that's the best his fastball has looked all season. And tonight, Julio, that fastball, that heater topped out at 95.5 miles per hour. It averaged 93.4 miles per hour, and on the season, that's up. I mean, that's up for his season averages. And you saw 20 swings and misses. 12 of those swings and misses came via that fastball, 5 from his changeup, 3 from his curveball. So, look, we know that when he's on, you're seeing that slurve. You're seeing that slurve lowing away to lefties, lowing away to righties. You see him throw it in the zone for strikes, and he's got the changeup there. But then now you're seeing this fastball as a weapon. He's putting it all together. That is what Julio Urias. It's like the Julio Urias sandwich there. He's putting all the ingredients and just putting a nice little sandwich, and he's just putting it in there, and he's really become very effective, man. I'm very excited about the development of him. Catmandu from Boomer Assassin. Go Dodgers from Bruce Davis. Go get Montas. Too many runners left on base. Foul ball called fair. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was just absolutely ridiculous that, especially when you consider that Kimbrel's got to be like, man, I cannot catch a break, right? But yeah, any thoughts on Freddie Freeman? Kershaw is still the man. Yeah, no disrespect to Clayton Kershaw, who had a really nice start yesterday. Allowed that 1 run in 6 innings of work. And, Clayton Kershaw, he's been phenomenal, man. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, what more can you say about the guy? He's a guy that really I'm rooting for the most right now because I want to see Clayton Kershaw make his way onto the All-Star team, and I want to see him start in the All-Star game. We all know a few years ago when Doc was the manager and it was in D.C., he had Max Scherzer pitch, and I think that, Clayton Kershaw, maybe he's not the best starter in Major League Baseball right now, but when you look at sentimental reasons, I really hope he gets the opportunity because if you look at him so far this season, 8 starts, 45 innings pitched, a 2 ERA, a 2.44 FIP, a 27.3 K percentage, a 4.1 walk percentage, a 1.4 F4. If it weren't for that injury, he'd be a surefire all-star and someone who'd be in the Cy Young conversation. So, yeah, man, as long as he has the feel for that curveball, the fact that you saw, the slider is his money pitch, the way he tunnels it with that four-seam fastball. But yesterday, we saw that Uncle Charlie. You saw him using that curveball that was so effective for him. And when he's throwing that curveball more, that's a telltale sign that he's feeling good, that back isn't an issue. So, yeah, definitely a lot to feel good about when it comes to Clayton Kershaw. Roy, D-Mac, keep bringing it. Betts to bat third when he comes back. So you guys really want to see Mookie Betts bat third when he comes back. And look, there's no question about it. Trea Turner is a superior player to Mookie when it comes to pure speed, right? When it comes to pure speed, and also when you talk about power, Mookie Betts in the month of June, that was the big story. It was the fact that he was hitting it out of the ballpark. And I think what it comes down to is what is Mookie Betts comfortable with? Because I think if Mookie Betts thinks that, hey, maybe Trea Turner, we're seeing the success that he's having. And like I said, 26 hits combined from Trey, Freddie, and Will Smith in this 4-game road trip so far, tearing the cover off the baseball. You're seeing just consistent base hits from this lineup, and they're just really setting the tone up there. But that's the same thing we were saying with Mookie, Freddie, and Trey as well. So you have to consider that too. It's how quickly they forget, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, because it's not like Mookie Betts was chopped liver when he was batting leadoff as well. If you just look at what Mookie did, where, he was a guy that was in contention for Player of the Month in the month of May. So, yeah, I think that I wouldn't be totally against it. I think that if Trea Turner continues to have this level of success and he can jump on pitches up in the at the beginning of the count and just get on base and trying to wreak havoc, I'm for it. But like I said, do not forget how good Mookie Betts was in May. I'm gonna remind you how good Mookie Betts was in May, batting in that leadoff spot. So in the month of May, 28 games, Mookie Betts led the Dodgers with an 1157 OPS, a 342 batting average, of 411 on base percentage, a 746 slug. He led the Dodgers with 12 home runs on the month. He led the Dodgers he was third with 10 doubles on the month. He led the Dodgers with 27 RBIs. But, hey, there's probably someone out there that's saying maybe that those high slugging numbers could point to the fact that he could produce in the 3-hole as well. So I could see that argument as well. And, look, the bottom line is wherever you throw these guys in the lineup, Trea Turner, Freddie Freeman, you could move them at cleanup, Will Smith, you could shuffle them from the 3, 4, 5 spot. These guys are so talented. They're all essentially in their prime right there, or just maybe the twilight of their primes. They're all just fantastic at the plate, and they're going to produce. But to me, I think that I'm not going to go away from what works so well with Mookie Betts, because the last thing you want is to throw Mookie in that 3-hole and we don't see May Mookie, right? So I think that the fact that he has so much clout with this organization, I think you'll see him go back there. But also, too, I think kind of expanding the conversation on extending Trea Turner. You see the success you have, and you know that the leadoff spot is Mookie Betts'. That's another conflict. So it's not just about the money with Trea and the Dodgers. It's also about the fit. You got the leadoff spot. You got the fact that he's from Florida, and he's mentioned playing in the East Coast. So, yep, guys, but Will Smith is such a methodical hitter. Miles Simon, he's fantastic. I think Will Smith is one of the most underappreciated players in all of Major League Baseball, even not just by fans around the league. I think he's underappreciated by Dodger fans. I go to Dodger games, and I think to myself, I try to count Will Smith jerseys. You don't see them, okay? You don't see very many Will Smith jerseys. But, that's why I think it's important for him to find a way on that all-star team. And, look, Will Smith, if you look at even before tonight, he has a big night tonight, but even before tonight, He was third in all of Major League Baseball behind Alejandro Kirk of the Blue Jays and Wilson Contreras of the Cubs in WRC+. So I think you're seeing that average starting to creep up as well. Like I said, you're seeing him improve as a game caller, as a just general catcher. So, yeah. But, yep, guys, DMAC ACL Doc said everyone here needs to vote. Yeah, by the way, reminder, vote for your Dodgers in the All-Star game. And, yep, guys, that is going to do it for this one. It's a Friday night. Go out there and party. Dodgers beat the Braves. We're going to be back with you possibly tomorrow, possibly Sunday. The series is popping. And, yeah, I'm just happy this game didn't get rained out because of Freddie Freeman crying, because it was waterworks out there on the field, having some umbrellas. But yeah, man, it was great to see Freddie Freeman just kind of get this behind him. I know there was a lot of buildup in this moment, and Freddie Freeman is a guy that he's a genuine person. He means what he says, and I think that the appreciation from really becoming going from a boy to a man in that Atlanta Braves organization. He meets his wife, has his kids, wins a World Series. I mean, there was a lot there. So to kind of get that off his chest and almost get some closure. And I know he says he doesn't want closure, but I do think that it's important for him to experience getting his ring and not have that in the back of his mind as far as anticipation. Now it's about focusing on being a Los Angeles Dodger, and hopefully Freddie Freeman cries one day at a Dodgers press conference when it's his retirement ceremony, because he's had so much success with LA and he's won multiple MVPs and multiple World Series titles, and he's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Dodger. That is my hope. But yeah, a couple more comments here and I'll head out of this one. Thanks, D-Max. Smash that like button. Appreciate you as always, Diane Schroeder. Boomer Smith is the best catcher in baseball. He's just not sexy or glamorous. He needs to do a Subway commercial and marry a supermodel. Well, he's married, he's having kids, so that one's out of there. But Subway commercial is definitely on the table. Maybe do have and also the fact he has shares a name with Will Smith is pretty interesting. But that's a good take, but Boomer. We got that ovation for him and from the Atlanta crowd was great. Hudson done for the year, pound for pound. Daniel Hudson tears his ACL. Craig Osterberg. Yeah, that was the big fear. And you heard it here first, thanks to you guys. D-Mac, can you date my sister, Jay Silva? Fortunately, I'm off the market, but hey, man, I wouldn't mind Dansby Swanson as our shortstop. But yeah, that is Hudson confirmed out for the year. So that's a massive blow to this Dodgers bullpen. We've talked about some internal, some external options possibly, but yeah, that's a major blow. He was by far the Dodgers' best high-leverage reliever. You saw the look on his face when he went down, and that to me is the first thing I look at when players go down with injuries, their facial expressions. And look, he was nothing short of phenomenal. And heading into today, a 2.25 ERA, a 2.05 FIP, 31.6 K percentage, a real weapon. But hey, guys are going to have to step up in the interim. And Brusdar Graterol, Yency Almonte, Alex Vesia, Evan Phillips. So, hey, man, next man up mentality, and injuries happen. It's a tough part of sports. But, yeah, it's definitely takes the fun out of this win. There's no question about it. But here we go, guys. Thanks. Here we go. Time to crush some Modelos. Yeah, pound for pound. You know it's about that time. But thanks, guys. Thanks for the updates, and we'll see you guys Sunday. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And by the way, this is your show. So is your show. I'm just hosting. So be sure to smash that like button. But see you guys Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your night. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What up, Don Kim? Thanks, Anthony King. See you guys next time.
It's time.